Garnett. They are racing 7.
So we will have this match first. This is the consolation final of the Superleague Nationals. Make no bones about it, even though these players are not in the main event, they have come an awful long way to get here, and they have fought through some extremely tough opposition. Both excellent players in their own right too. Dean Garnett is one half of the successful pairing for the Clubs New Zealand 8-Ball Championships. He won that last year with Brent Wells, and he'll be looking to defend that title next weekend. At the moment the final has not started yet, Barry, but we will do that once the final does start. And Healey White has won quite a few tournaments himself, among those the South Islands at least once. I think he might have won that twice.
Won the pairs once and the singles once.
He's won the pairs once and won the singles once. The pairs he won with Jordan Maihi, who is not here, and the singles was in 2017. So he is a championship winner himself. Hey. Thank you.
Welcome. That's a nice shot. Nice weighted shot. What's the matter, mate? Just hey?
One thing with Dean that you'll find if you have not seen him play before is the slow, deliberate style of playing, and that contrasts quite heavily against Healey's more free flow playing style. So it's good to see a clash of playing styles once again, to see exactly how they work together when you see them in a final. Eyes for the plant and just sits right over the pocket, but that'll do just fine for Dean. He's got some form of control over the frame now, what with 2 pockets covered. So I do believe the final is just about to be called. Simon Singleton making his way to the playing area. Ceri is already there waiting for him.
Oh, great shot, Healey.
Yeah, great double there from Healey. And his partner Camellia Cook watching on as well.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will now be underway with the main final of the 2019 Superleague National Championships.
Yeah, Barry's just calling the players up for the final. They're about to get underway. So I'm sure it's going to be a ripper final because both players are playing awesome. Oh, that's a nice
he
shot.
jammed it in.
What's this other yellow doing? That's fine. Blocks the hole up though.
He can go other side of it and put it in front of the yellow though.
Yeah, mate. Oh.
Simon's pro. He's pro.
Mr. Simon Singleton. Ceri, have a call, please.
These are only $3.
Yeah, I know. That's not like it.
It is a hit. Thank you
Right, how do we do the screen, Daryl?
What do you want to do?
We might as well have split screen, eh? So the players can see what the viewers can see what's going on. But we could have I'm not making those, so I don't have to worry about it.
Just practicing.
So Ceri's won the toss, is he going to break? Nice black there by Dean, take the first scalp.
So here we go, final is underway now.
Awesome break there by Ceri.
And Ceri gets one off the break, or at least one.
Yeah.
Two by the look of it, one of each.
So what would you do here, John?
I would take the reds. See, balls on the cush and
Yeah, because then you got that
balls on
one
the
by
cush
the
for the
yellow.
yellow. Yeah, and the one by the yellow does go on the left of your screen.
Oh,
He's actually
pretty
promoted
good,
it pretty well for himself now.
Yeah.
Needs to be careful that he doesn't get a rough bounce off the yellow after
I
he
think
plays
he'll be
that
fine,
shot if
because
he
what he'll
plays
do
it.
is, if he puts a bit of bottom on it, he can draw it back to the rail and then play that one down the rail.
Yeah, that was the shot I was thinking of as well.
And then he can play the one in the middle, with the table below the black to the right hand corner, and then that'll give him the angle to come across the table for that bottom red. But we'll see how he goes.
See how he plays it. Saying before about how good his play has been, his positional play has been absolutely brilliant, and there's that little.
We missed it.
There is that little invention again, just to keep the white ball in a handy position for that ball down the rail, but on this occasion he's missed it. Usually those shots have been going A-OK for him, but that's, I think, the first time he's missed one of those. Yeah, could do that. Corey was asking maybe to have this consolation final in the top right corner. I just
I'll give it a go. The issue is that one of them has the thing is too big and it cuts into the table. The other one isn't, so we'll try it. If it doesn't work, then we'll go back.
So we will try to do that, Corey. But there we go.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's not bad. You can see the. You can still see enough of the table. You don't need to be able to see absolutely the whole table, but you can see enough of the console. That is the consolation final, top right of your screen, by the
But
way.
you just don't have a score.
We
But
don't have a score, but we will keep tabs on the score. Currently, it is 1-0 to Dean Garnett. Yeah, we'll put that to a vote, actually. Just let me know if you want these two games to be streamed side by side, or as they are not right now, with the consolation final in the top right corner. So just let me know what you want. So one to go for Simon now. Needs to draw the white back out, and that's pretty good. The same pocket. Just roll this in, and first blood would be to Simon. Down she goes. Just a soft roll into the pocket is all she needs. So Simon Singleton takes the first frame, and we are underway in the final. And most people are preferring this current view at the moment. So we are going to leave it as that. Again, not wanting to take away from the achievements that Dean, Garnett and Healey might have made in getting to the final of the Consolation event. Yeah, to be brutally honest, yeah. John Renwick, I do agree with you there. And hopefully you guys can see enough of that match in the top right corner if you wish to.
Simon's come up dry.
Yeah, that's not such a good break from Simon because it didn't look like he caught those flush. It looks like he caught them right of where he wanted to, and all of his best laid plans went awry.
I think Ceri's called red ones.
Ceri's called reds, yeah, so you can get a little bump on that, the red to the right of the one he's looking at now, which is the one to the top left corner.
Gotta sit back down here. No, you're right, mate. Oh, yeah, smart. I'll leave you guys to it. Corey's going to come back and do a bit of commentary, so yeah, we'll see you later.
I think he might have stuck himself onto that yellow there so that red he's just promoted is not on. As Corey jumps back into the commentary seat next to me.
What's up?
1-0 Simon. 1-0 Simon over Ceri and
1-0 Dean over Healey.
Yeah.
So who we got at the table? That's Ceri at the table at the moment.
Dean with lovely control over that shot actually to get on the black. He's actually gone, what, 1, 2, 3 rails. What a shot that is. He didn't need to play a snooker, but he did, and he's got it AO perfect. Dean drops the black, so he is now 2-0 ahead. That is a race to 7, folks, the consolation final. This is a race to 9.
So I think Simon, earlier in the day would probably play the tactical foul, John. I don't think...
but would he do that now, though?
Yeah, given the way Ceri's playing, I think he's just going to try and hit a ball. I mean, he's got a big target to hit.
Well, he's got 2 lots of balls next to each other, doesn't he?
A bit of hampered queuing, so...
He did indeed get one. That's a pretty good leave too from there. Ceri's got to queue over the top of the yellow if he wants to go down table, and he's got a pretty tight cut on the red to the top right corner if he wants to take it. So of all places to leave, that's a pretty good one for Simon there.
He's not going to play the same shot, is he? He is.
He's going to play the same shot. He's just that unorthodox. This time he's overhit it though.
Yeah.
They might have let Simon in here. He wanted to catch that red on the rail thick so he could stick in behind it, but caught it thin and it squirted away so that you can see everything.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
I think she was talking about Corey Cook there, asking for the current view.
I'll take whatever if it's got my name on it, John.
Sorry to rain on your parade.
That's alright, I'm used to that. So,
if he's looking at outrageous shots, there might be a double on here. Plant double on bottom right pocket. It looks like he's looking at something similar to that now.
well, Ceri's not short of ideas, John.
No, he's not. We've already seen
it
it before. A couple of shots he's played in this game have looked unorthodox, but he's made them work. There is no one way to play this game, folks, and Ceri exemplifies that. Could be gearing up to kick one of these behind and pot one. And he's made a mess of the yellows down the other end of the table somewhat. And left Simon close to the one bottom left here, so
Well,
it'll be interesting to see what Simon does with this, because he's changed the table up
yeah.
quite a lot.
I mean, all the yellows have a pocket essentially, so he's just got to maybe disturb the black. He's got that yellow close to it. I don't think he'll use that one, but he can snick off this yellow he's close to now, come around the rails. Where the two yellows are up top left, I think he'll be trying to get on one of those. He's sort of come up, but
I think he's actually gotten himself on the one closest to the top pocket on the left. I believe that's on now, especially with a bit of side. If he can play that shot, he's slightly hampered with his killing, but if he can play that shot and squirt out perhaps for the red to the rightmost yellow, then he could very well be in here.
he might just lock up on the other yellow too. No, he's locked on the red.
Locked it on the red.
I mean,
it's not a bad way to restrict a player of Ceri's shot-making ability, is to make him play shots that you know where he's not going to pot a ball.
do you know where they are, John? Because I've seen him pot some amazing shots from where you wouldn't think he'd pot a ball.
Looks like he's going to load this up the side and try and kick this in.
Oh.
No, he was going to try to kick it behind the yellow, but he's put too much on it and gone and off. Yeah, no, I don't know where Tyler's gone, to be fair. He's kind of moseyed on away.
I heard some people were
Can't
muting.
see him. Maybe. We've got 150 people watching as well, so that's the highest number of viewers we've had for the entire tournament there, Corey. Must be you again.
Oh, thanks, John. Stop it, mate. Stop it.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, he got the lovely kiss, and
good
now
first
they're all
shot.
on.
Good first shot.
Just the black to be careful of, but he's got several balls that he can use to cannon into it.
So from where we sit, John, this looks like 2-0.
It does. He does need to be careful that he doesn't get too hung up on getting the black out.
He's got two shots to do that.
Yeah, at the expense of getting in position for something. He does have two shots, but if he does it too early and doesn't get position on anything, then he may jeopardise the second shot to clear the table.
So Barry, the referee, stepping in to remove the shark rack. Has Ceri been using the shark rack, John?
No. No, he was just using the regular triangle against Baden in the other semi.
2-0. Thank you.
Wrong one. Actually, yeah, we've just been told that the score is
2-0 to Dean Garnett.
2-0 to Dean Garnett, but actually we already knew that, but we didn't update the score on our other screen, so that's what we were just doing there.
So what are your shot selections here, John? Obviously he's still got one carrying. Looks like he's pretty straightforward on the one in the corner. Just take it back a wee bit.
I reckon one in the corner, draw back slightly for the one in the opposite corner. Maybe you could use that to just bump the black away.
Yeah.
So he's got the position now where he can take that and just get a piece of the black to make it on. But, a quarter of a ball further to
Yeah, well, I
That
guess
diamond would have been perfect for this, but I think Simon should be able to make this anyway and get the split.
Yeah, I honestly, John, don't think you want to touch the black. Just you've got 2 shots, use them.
Yeah, and then pot these 2 balls and use your 2 shots to develop the black.
It's old theory. If you can get away without crashing into anything, you know, you want to go that way about it.
Yeah, don't involve other balls where you don't need to, right?
Correct. You're only asking for trouble, something to go wrong.
Seen it happen quite a lot, so maybe these players have been watching that and thought, well, if I don't need to, so I won't do it.
I think he's going to just put a bit of check. No, he's just going to drop it in. You think he'll just leave a bit of a half ball angle?
Yeah, I reckon half ball to play the black off the top cushion and bounce out nicely for him. Oh, how's he missed that? Gee, that could be interesting to come back to. Still got another shot, but now he's having to see if the black's on, and
yeah, he knows it too.
Yeah, you can see the head go down. He knew that he'd fouled up on an easy one there. I don't know if this is on, and if there is a split, there may be a split if he screws back off this. But
I think, do you think he's looking? Was he looking at trying to plant the black onto that red and make it in the middle? Oh no! Look at that! That's
a beautiful shot. He got the right part of the red to leave himself on the black too. If he'd run too fat into it, he might not have had a shot.
Just looking up in top right corner screen, Dean Garnett's on the black for a 3-0, which he's made. Oh, but where's that cue ball?
It's fine, and the black's down on Simon's table, so 2-0 to Simon Singleton. Don't mind the... There we go, we've got the score.
Greg, I'll leave you to the scores, mate.
Cheers, bro.
3-0 over there.
Yeah, I've got them on.
Oh, you got it. He made the best out of a less than ideal situation there. Janet, he wasn't quite where he wanted to be. He used his first shot a shot earlier than he wanted to because he just wanted to promote the black with his first shot and just have it for a second, but he was able to find a shot that worked for him and he executed it quite beautifully.
So when you look at Ceri racking the balls there, he's been very, he's making sure that all 15 balls were touching. That's what the shark rack is designed to do, is just make that happen with ease and not have to worry about it.
Did he use the shark rack?
No, he's just taking a lot of time. He's taking his time to ensure that the balls are all touching. And has it paid off?
Oh, I think this is dry.
Wheat Bix, mate, Wheat Bix.
Yep. Never eat soggy Wheat Bix, but so dry Wheat Bix isn't that great either.
What's your set, John? Yellows. It's got to be
yellows. You've got a starter for, a start. Just draw this one back, got the one in the middle. If you've got the angle, you can even draw back for the one in the same pocket, which I don't think he can do, but he does have that rescue yellow into the middle pocket now. I think he wanted those two at the same end of the table because the dance floor is mostly at the other end. So that's where all the yellows are. That's where all the magic happens.
So you think he's going to leave those 3 yellows to the right middle till last? Just work on those ones last? Probably the one
I would say
middle, down the corner, black in the opposite, top left?
I would say so because they all kind of run with each other. I think that's why he really wanted to get that yellow that he's now hooked on, the one bottom right of your screen, is so that he could focus on getting to the... he's not happy with that. I think he wanted to bump something and keep the white ball there. He hasn't done it, but I reckon those middle of those 3 yellows is on, so he should be okay. He just needs to be able to reset his position off this. Dean is 3-0 up at the moment, Brittany. That is a race to 7. And Healey at the table now.
So I'd be
as I can
thinking
see.
Simon's going to play this yellow bottom right of the screen as you see it. Then the yellow in the top left
You see
for the middle.
Well, you see the way that he's pointing his cue. He's thinking of the different angles he can take the white ball through. He can either go between the 3 reds towards the middle of the table, or he can go around the 2 like this and get on that ball that way. He hasn't hooked himself, has he? You wouldn't believe it if he has. If he's stuck on that ball, then he's going to have to play away from it, and he won't be able to pot it.
Oh, Healey's been a bit unfortunate there.
I think this is on.
He's going to go.
It's on in the other pocket.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's gone and off. He doesn't want to pot this.
Oh.
It's the first time we've seen it on stream. And off on the black, and the black goes down. So that's loss of frame, and Dean Garnett takes a 4-0 lead.
It was a great cut, all the same. Just that cue ball found the big bucket.
Most of the people voted to have the screen this way, Edwin. So I'm just going on what everybody else wants, or the majority wants. Gets
Wow.
the yellow.
So, Ceri at the table.
Is that yellow? Sorry, is the red next to the black on? Because if it is, that's the ball I'd be taking first. Yeah, that's the one he's queuing up, so...
It's the only one that's got any problems, John, so this one goes.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, he did. He actually tied the black up too, but it doesn't actually hamper him, but it may hamper Simon.
So I think Ceri will be looking to just do these 4 balls down the bottom. No, he's going to prove me wrong. I don't know what Kiri's thinking, to be honest.
He might try to push this near the rail to make it easier for himself later, because that would make a big pocket for the black top left.
Yeah, he's giving himself good angle down table.
He doesn't actually need to touch the black. I thought he might have played that before.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, no, that's all right, Edwin.
Middle red,
Yeah,
bottom
I did
left.
ask people before, and
my
that's
pick for the
that's
first
what they
shot.
asked for.
I'm gonna get
So
proved wrong. And then you'll go to the red to the right and the bottom right. And the one to the middle will be the one for the black. It's going to drop this one in, red
Yes.
to the middle, and then
Not-
black inside the yellow.
it's a nice cyclical way of doing it, isn't it? The balls all sort of run into each other.
Oh,
That's
I'm
not
a bit surprised where he's
ideal.
landed. So he's
See, I
probably
don't know if
just
the
gonna-
angle allows him to check up on this, because there is a largish angle, and the check wouldn't really
You'd
take
have
it
to load
far
it.
enough past the table. I reckon he'd need to load it with the opposite
Yeah,
side.
I think he's going to play a bit of running side, 2 rails, back up to the centre of the table, John. But you just got to make sure you get enough of deep enough into this sort of right corner so you don't get tied up in those yellows.
Oh, shit. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so you got
2.
deep in there, just needs to get up.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he's got security.
Big
you
pocket
know,
here.
As long as he gets it over the pocket, if he doesn't make the ball, he's pretty much won the frame if that black sits in that pocket.
He's missed it.
Oh, no.
He's gone in between, and he's actually left the pocket on. Would you believe it? Uh,
4-0.
Yeah, Healey just made a great pot, but
Ceri
jumped
would
the
be
white.
asking
Bottom
himself,
black and
why
white,
do that
it's a lot.
now? When everything you've touched is turned to gold, why now is it?
I think that's
that you
because
get
we're in
rid-
a final, John.
Yeah, I just wondered about that too. Make sure of that. probably just a little stun type shot on this to come off the rail and be good for that yellow down the rail. Or does he just play it normally because it will spread? Yeah, just a normal stroke, and that's pretty good. Just needs to make sure of this.
Simon just needs to exercise good cueing.
Yeah.
And, 3-0. If it doesn't go, 2-1. Because when Simon plays this, he's going to be playing to be on that black. He's not going to try and get it on the bottom rail. Even if he does
also, we're crossing sports now. Japan have taken a 16-12 lead over Ireland in the rugby. Would you believe? I think... I can't quite see the time. I think we're into the second half of the match. Oh, he's missed it. So Ceri will get a second bite at this. 20 minutes to go, so okay,
to be honest, John,
minute.
I thought Simon would just, try and drop that and give the pocket more chance to accept the ball there. But Ceri will be happy enough to take that frame. He should have had it in theory.
Doesn't matter how you get them. It's just that you get them. What an upset that would be, Chris, if Ireland end up losing to Japan. I mean, that would, for me, eclipse Japan beating South Africa at the 2015 event.
But for the All Blacks argument, they don't want Ireland there. They want Ireland to finish number one on the pool, so they go to the other side of the tour.
Looks like Dean here. I'm not entirely sure which balls he's on. He looks like he's on the reds. Sort of hooked himself position-wise.
Simon playing the second ball on the break or the front ball? He's playing the front ball. He's hitting it with quite a sort of half ball contact, didn't he?
Yeah,
three-quarter contact.
Three-quarter contact instead of full ball, so I do wonder whether that might be contributing to his inability to pot them off the break. Yeah, I only just saw the score of that game now, Chris, so I don't actually know how they've been
Simon
playing.
Up dry, Ceri at the table.
I can only imagine, Chris, that they've been playing really well, but I will
take the yellows
and go back to the poll.
Just need to get low on that one at the top of the table, just to split the pack, and you're away laughing.
Low like Flow Rider.
Oh, he's got the one in the middle. Oh,
the one in the middle's on, and that opens up the one in the corner past that red. The one to the right of it. Oh, you've got that game and this on your split screen. Oh, good on you. True sportsman.
Shot, Dean.
So Dean now goes 5-0 ahead, I believe. Just clearing that frame, and Healey's got an awful mountain of work to do.
So I think Ceri will play this yellow to the middle, get rid of the red. So where's that red going to end up?
Push, or it could push past the yellow.
I think
if it pushes past the yellow, it may end up.
I think it'll hit the yellow just there. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Greg was right. Well done, Greg.
The yellow,
call,
and
mate.
I think that's okay. If he's on the one into the middle, then he's okay. Otherwise, he's going to have to play another one of those really good positional shots to miss all the reds and be back down that other end of the table.
That yellow, the way he's looking at it, might go. It's just going to screw back to the rail and off a few inches.
Or he might screw back more and be on the other side of... No. He's going to go all the way down the table here.
So, John, is he going to have to go under the red at the bottom of the screen there if he plays this one? 2, 3 rails, maybe land on the fourth, the top rail.
Yeah.
So he's going to swing
Oh,
this
he's
under
going to
that
give this
red.
a bit of
It's going
swing.
to come 2-3 rails around. Oh, there you go. 1, 2. Oh, he's caught the red.
Caught the red. He can still cut this in though.
Oh, can he what?
This will still cut. It's not an easy shot, but it is definitely possible the way Ceri's been queuing it today.
Ceri will cut this in and he'll manage to just land fat on the black.
You heard it here first. No, he's caught it too thin. It's got nowhere near, so look at this for Simon to go 3-1 up. I don't think either of those reds next to each other is on, so he's going to have to play. So plays for the snooker, and well, he doesn't want one shot, he wants two here, so to really lock this frame up. Ceri's extremely good at kick shots though, so if anybody can make a shot out of this, it is him.
Yeah, Ceri really studies the game.
No, he hasn't hit it. He's nowhere, so it's 2 away. So good shot there from Simon to put him under that pressure.
Yeah, mate. Well,
Shot Healey. Shot
you're playing against a machine. Oh, that's mumble, mate. Yeah.
So Healey gets a frame back, and it's now 5-1 to Dean and Garnett in the consolation final.
So Healey get that one?
Brent. Is that Dean? Who got that?
Healey, so it's 5-1.
5-1, mate.
Spits out towards the middle of the table here. Take the red just in bulk. Spit 2 rails.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a... Ooh.
good to have those 2 shots,
Took
eh?
It's almost like he took his eyes off that. Or maybe he just played it too easily. Should be okay though. It's still ever so slightly unusual to see him miss a shot like that. Shouldn't cost him the frame though, unless he does something else silly.
That yellow's going to come into play here, I reckon.
Mr. Yellow is a white gun, it's
wow.
okay. Just missed that pocket, so he was playing with fire there. Oh, thanks, Bev. Down that goes, and he stuns it out nicely for black bottom right corner. This would be to open that 2-frame lead back up again there,
Yep.
Corey.
He's got a bit of a safety net, John. Not that he wants Ceri to get back at the table, because we'll probably see some magic, but yeah, he can just run this down to the corner, and you know, that yellow's sitting on the bottom rail there.
He doesn't want to give him any chance at all to wave his wand, so
Too right, I agree, but
this goes in and that shuts that down.
the yellow could be over the pocket, and this shot's much harder, but you know, you feel like there's a bit of pressure off when the yellow's sitting there. Changes a little bit when you're playing Ceri Worts.
Well, just the knowledge of what he can do can be quite scary, because you feel like you can't leave anything, even if it is a hard shot.
Simon might overcut this a wee bit. Oh, nearly.
Oh, he nearly did, but it
Thought he was just
found
looking
its
a little
way
bit
in.
wide.
Jaw, but down
For
she
a
goes.
3-1
So,
Simon.
yeah, 3-1 to Simon Singleton.
Ceri to
so
break.
the defending champion is in front again.
Simon's actually slowed Ceri down quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a good point that Greg made just off air there, is that Simon slowed Ceri's game down. quite a lot, and I reckon that was one thing that he didn't have against Baden. Baden wasn't able to slow his game down, and Ceri was just able to play the whole thing at his speed. But Simon slowed him down and made him think about it, and I think you're just seeing a little bit of nerves or relative inexperience at the game coming in from Ceri. Not that he's not experienced already, but again, Simon's got a few more years in the tank.
So Michael Hayes pointed out, just watch Ceri's break. Usually gets a yellow in the right middle. See if he makes that yellow in the right middle again.
Watching it. I'm watching it. I saw a yellow go. I'm not sure if that was that same one though.
It wasn't that pocket, but he made a red and a yellow, so he's at the table.
So she is all good.
And I think reds will be the suit.
It was the yellow just back from the apex ball on the right hand side of the triangle as you saw it. Of course you can't see it now because the triangle's blown to pieces. Yeah, middle pocket to the right.
Great pop by Healey.
Because if you do hit them correctly, then that ball will come back towards the middle pocket, or the way that Ceri breaks or sets up for the break. So he's obviously figured out a way to do that relatively consistently.
So, will he crash into that other one?
Yeah, I reckon he'll take this other one.
So take the red into the right middle. You think he's going to connect with that? Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, he played that deliberately to hit full ball to get it out and get maximum value for it.
Paul Chivers in the replay.
Oh, loves his replay. You watched I'm not sure if it was the yellow that we were talking about, Bev, but I do know that he got one.
So how's his angle? Is just going to screw down table, or can he just run through to the left?
I think he can just screw down table. He's just off centre, so yeah, you can just use the angle.
How's that?
Pretty damn good.
That was a nice break.
And a break and clear back, and he gets back to within one, so it's 3-2 Simon Singleton.
Bit of support in the background for Ceri.
Yeah, again, credit to all of the Tasman players for staying back and watching.
5-1, mate.
5-1.
Excellent 3-ball plant there from Dean on the other table, and he's got that red to contend with next to the yellow in bulk. I do wonder whether he might be able to get that out now, or whether it's actually on in the bottom pocket to the left. I think if he gets it out, he's going to push it towards those two yellows, and that's not what you want. So they'll have to be thinking about another shot here.
The red's in the corner.
Yeah, I think the red saved his blushes there. That would have been dry otherwise. The last messenger. And the shark rack able to be removed. There was somebody, I forget his name, who was completely against the shark rack because
we'd love a hill match, Bev.
Because of the fact that it can... Oh, Dean Garnett, what a shot that is. But he's gotten too far away from the red. He's actually ended up right on the back rail where he can't cut it in.
Well, they do call him Houdini. So what's he got? Yeah, that's a good shot there by Simon. He's got another chance to pop that one last red that's tied up there. Oh, he might be able to drop behind it. Go to the middle.
Oh, it was cuttable, okay.
Oh, that was a cut.
Easy
then.
position on the black too. This will be for the hill. He is at 6-1. Dean Garnett just with one more frame to win to be the Consolation champion.
So Simon's just got to make a couple of decisions here. What are you going to do with these
The reds
two
near
reds
the black.
near the black? Yeah, I think
I don't know if that.
just needs to get.
I don't know if the one further down the table actually goes past those two yellows there. If it does, then that's okay because you can manufacture a shot to get on it, or he could try to drop the white ball somewhere between the red and the yellow there in the middle of the table, just somewhere like there.
Oh.
There you go.
On the penny, mate. On the penny. I'd say he's just going to take a wee bump into this, knock the red to the rail, drop her in, black in the middle. Yeah.
So you're 19-12 to Japan is the score in the rugby,
just
and
gonna
there are
come
only
out off
8
the
minutes
rail.
left.
Inch or two. Alright, stay close, make sure of the pot.
Makes it a bit easier because even though you're playing
There we
close
go,
to the
start.
rail, you're playing a straight shot.
2 and Dean 6-1 up. 4-2 now.
So 4-2 now. Simon Singleton reopens up that lead.
Greg, I did it again.
So Janet Scanlon again showing that support for her boy.
I'm still waiting for this yellow in the right middle, John. Off Ceri's break.
Well, there we go. Take the second. What I will do briefly is just go back to the split screen, only because Dean Garnett could very well be on his way to winning this final in this frame. I want to be able to see this. And you can see that and see the result.
Oh,
Oh, we couldn't cut it in though. Healey White with a chance now.
is he going to double this one? No.
No.
No, sorry, I was watching. I thought he was getting
Drops it into the middle, first shot.
Okay, so he's potting reds. Potting reds off the break. Well, that's a pretty dreamy break there for Ceri, John.
Yeah, he didn't get that yellow in the middle that we were talking about there, Corey.
No,
I think it's a lie.
Yep.
I think somebody's telling you porkies there, friend.
I think Ceri's going to go with the reds. There's no problems in the reds.
Well, reds definitely are the set. Just you look at the spread of balls, and you also look to see what sort of starters you can get and where you go with them. That's a pretty good result too with that bump, because
So
he's
he's
got
just
the
come off the side rail to the other rail for the other red in the left
Yeah.
bottom after this one. Then he'll go for the one in the middle to work his way down to the bottom.
all seems so simple, doesn't it?
Oh, can't lose a game from here, John.
Nah, it's one thing you learn, isn't it? Caught that quite well, and
Something I mentioned.
I think now just a stunny screw shot. If he plays a full screw shot, he hits the yellow. If he plays a stun screw shot, he misses it and ends up somewhere in the middle. That's actually
that's
okay. He's
okay.
used the other yellow quite well there.
On the string.
And that's another poor shot from Dean. So Healey back at the table now to get another frame and to just make that final a little bit closer.
Yeah, there we go.
Look at Japan on the rugby. Just looking at Japan on the rugby there, they're what, 3 minutes away from recording a victory over Ireland here.
So Ceri
19-12.
about to bring it back to within 1. 4-3. Simon to break.
So once again we draw closer. Sorry, I can't do that. It's 19-12 to Japan at the moment with about 2.5 minutes to play.
Oh, Healey's missed the yellow to the corner. I fancied him for that finish.
Same. I think just the way this game has gone, though, I'm not surprised. He's had a number of good opportunities, in fact, and he's spurned most of them. He's going to come back and get a bump, and that's all right.
Dean hasn't landed ideal, but he's there.
Shonara, Ireland. What exactly does that mean? Bev? I don't.
Sayonara Island.
Oh, sayonara. Oh, you were trying to say goodbye in Japanese. Okay.
Have you seen the score?
For the rugby? Yeah.
Japan's 1912, beating Ireland.
I wish I'd put some bets on there. Are you into ice cream, Greg?
You know what the funny thing is?
Why couldn't you get carrot
I
cake?
put 150 on Japan to win this match on the TAB this morning.
Oh, really? What's your return, mate?
I don't know. They could have, when I grabbed it, they were paying at 17, 18.
Nice stuff, mate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll take
Oh,
it.
Dean's missed as well.
Still fancy.
He's given it back to Healey here. Does he even want it?
Oh, you know they say, John, the hardest one to win's that last one.
Oh, that looks twice too.
Well, how true
Right,
is
6
that?
feet.
Yeah, how true is that, by the way? You say it all the time, but never is it truer for the person actually at the table. And he's missed that, but did he
Oh,
get a
he's got
bump? Yeah, he
cover.
did. He got cover.
Healey.
I think Healey was trying to staunch it out like he was always playing for that, but I reckon the ugly truth was he was more lucky than having good management there.
Nah, I think Healey was just smiling that one off there, John.
Well, his girlfriend is watching as well, so...
Anyway.
What's Simon looking at here? Is he on the yellows, perhaps looking at the top right yellow? Or is he trying to formulate something for the reds? Might be trying to come off 3 rails here. Julie...
Let's make contact.
We couldn't... I was just asking Dean if he called for a total snooker there because he didn't make a rail after contact, but he did indeed call a total. That's okay. Natural angle to come back down the table. Black in the same pocket. Oh, he's going the other way, is he? Oh, is he? Got one of 2 ways he can do it. I think this is easier though. Just use the top rail and open the angle up even. That's pretty much
Simon's
bang
going
on.
for the bump. He's missed it.
Down it goes. So Healey White stays alive. 6 frames to 2.
The comeback.
The comeback kid could very well be on here. I don't think he's got the angle to just follow straight through for this red in the corner, red top left corner. He does have a double now, though. He has given himself another shot. He's going to have to put a fair bit of work on this, though, to get the white ball to come the other side of the yellow.
Just one real issue, being the two next to the right middle.
Well, he's called a yellow here. Now, it's probably the only real thing he can do. He is still on yellows, by the way, because he potted one of each set off the break. News filtering through now that Japan have won their match against Ireland. So that's going to throw the group wide open. And
well, looking here, John, if we go to Simon Ceri, Simon's come short on the double. I think Ceri's going to get yellow off that red just to push it safe. Once he gets in position to play it.
Hello to you too, Rowdy Gamer. Roadie Gamer. He's going to come and use the white the red nicely there just to keep the white ball there.
Play the top of the two yellows that are close together to the top right. He'll probably prove me wrong, go for the bottom.
I reckon he'll go for the bottom as well. The reason being is that he can then take the red and the yellow into the middle past the red. That shot then opens itself up. At the moment now, it's not looking as good as it was.
I think he'll take the top and then he'll play that yellow into the middle off the red, just to push it safe to the cushion.
I reckon the bottom one and then the one into the middle.
Got you, John. Got you, mate.
That's what I said, the bottom one, as in the one that was closest to the black spot.
Fair enough.
Sorry, yeah, I know, that's what I meant.
So then I think he'll just work his way down.
Healey might have gotten away with a rather ghastly looking miss there on the yellow, bottom left of your screen. Oh, did he make a rail? They're just looking at it now. I don't think that's touched the rail. If it hasn't, it's two away and probably framed to Simon.
John, the consolation is, it's the plate, basically. So it was for those who didn't qualify. However, those who lost their first main round match, those who did qualify, dropped into the consolation. So essentially those who played the consolation, if they won their first match, they were in the last 32 to play the last 32 again. And then at 16, 8, 4 final.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny way of doing it, but change can be as good as a holiday.
Too right.
However, this format will change next year to a double. Oh, look at this double.
Made a good double there.
Must have been a fair shot, by the way, I reckon.
So, Ceri got the red to the rail in the shot before. Simon's made double. Now he's faced with... It's a bit of a tricky one, because if he tries to face cut double that, I think it'll double kiss. Possibly could triple it. Face cut triple.
Face cut triple. Is that that would be to put the red over the pocket where the yellow is, right?
Correct, yeah. I mean, the only other shot was maybe to sort of bank it. If Simon was to play that red 3 rails round to the top left corner. Otherwise, I can only see a face cut triple, because I think if he goes for the face cut double, John, the white's gonna double kiss as soon as it leaves the rail. Just the angle it's coming off.
Drop it in the right middle, so it's kind of like a markers double, then Bev. like
Yeah,
this.
trying to go around, but
Oh,
where's the black ball going?
Didn't quite get a cover with the black. I actually thought the black was going to roll in front of the yellow and perhaps make a nuisance out of itself. But everything's still on here for Ceri. So he's going to take the one over the middle first. This is quite interesting because many players would have taken the one in the corner to spit back out for
No, I think he's
one in
played
the
it.
other corner.
Played it right, John, because that one's just above the jaw on the rail, very easily missed from distance. So keep the work close.
And off the rail, he's got good.
Oh.
He's got a good connection on that because
4-all.
those aren't easy to power like that. And out she comes, and this black ball will make it 4 each, and down it goes. So we are back to being all square in this final, 4 apiece. Oh, got the split. And that's pretty good from Dean. He might be able to just leak this into the middle pocket here.
Anyone watching the stream, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on the OnCue page, hit the share button, tag your friends, get it out there. It's a good final on our hands, 4-all. Ceri versus Simon.
These have proven to be the best 2 players in New Zealand.
Good call, Greg. Good call, mate.
Yeah, mate.
And
Fuck, you got 500 views.
duked it out through starting out at 64
one on
players
5.
down to 2. Definitely been proving their credentials today. There's been some spectacular matches to be played today. These 2 guys have just
Do you wanna
sailed through.
Go to one screen.
Was that all finished?
No, it's not.
So what? How do you get it one screen, Gerald?
Then we want to go back.
So drops the red, and now should be just red over the middle, red over the corner, and then red to the opposite corner, come across the rail. Well, it doesn't want to end up straight on this though. It looks like he's got a little angle. Should be able to just stun screw this back.
Yeah, middle of the table will do, John. Don't need to do anything over the top. You don't want to catch it. Oh, he's going to just run through into the middle. Oh, he's going to run
That's
through
even
to the
better.
side
That's
rail.
beautiful. It's just what you want for your 7th frame. This would be for the win.
Just needs to make sure of it.
And he's got it.
Yeah, well done.
So Dean Garnett, the winner of the consolation final over Healey White, 7 frames to 2. So we can go back exclusively to the final now. Gary Buggy. Yeah, he'd be probably crying into whatever he's eating at the moment, I'd say.
John, we get another 30.
Well, just while Ceri breaks and runs, I might as well just sit here and commentate. It's a great break with Ceri.
Is he having a smoke?
Yeah.
Just a wee break here for the players as we come to the middle part of the final here. Ceri will break, I believe. Ceri's breaks have been better than Simon's, in fact, in this final. So he has got that part.
I'm still
Down
looking for that
better.
yellow in the middle, John.
Same.
Waiting for it.
I
Just
know. I
once.
want you to. I know. I want you to feel better for yourself too.
I was a bit hanging out for it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that knocks Ireland off the number 1 ranking now that they've been beaten by Japan.
Oh, no idea, mate.
Yeah, that seems to be the idea, Bev. Whether it's that yellow we're talking about or not, he so often seems to get one in the middle pocket. So let's see if it happens again.
Alright, we're going to watch for that one in the middle. Oh, he's got the white in the middle.
Oh, wrong ball.
Oh, yeah.
You apologise to the fans. Apologise to the fans if I just didn't show up today.
Healey White just wants to make an apology. Oh no, it's gone quiet.
He's going quite.
You to do that.
Apology's only worth anything if it comes from the person himself. So,
Were we just in the corner?
for most of it, yeah.
You got a bit of it.
Oh, I was hoping I was just a little corner shot. Go, Ceri.
Yeah, it's going to hurt Ceri a little bit more, I'm afraid.
So how do you do
I think Simon was looking to see if that red dropped in the middle.
that? Does it just swap between them?
This it does, and he comes out
Alright, so we'll just swap between these two.
red down the row. We're just having a wee play with the screen at the moment, folks, just to...
Want to be able to give you some different angles that we can see.
So we're not straight right?
No, he does not get 2 turns, Bev. In off the break is just white ball behind the head string and open table, and you just get the 1 turn. The only way you get 2 turns off the break is if your opponent drives the white ball off the table.
The cue ball in the middle pocket off the break is quite often the scratch that happens from the break, unless the cue ball's kicked by another ball into one of the corners. Quite often players, if they do scratch on the break, it will be into one of the side pockets.
Well, that's just because of all the weight pushing against the small white ball, isn't it? The small white ball will naturally deflect that way, so the players have to come up with ways of stopping that from happening by by adjusting the position from which they break, or adjusting how they hit the break so that they don't go on off in the side pockets.
So, what do you think, John? Simon's just gonna... Where's he going? Is he going to play this red down towards the bulk end of the table?
He could do, and
He could punch off the side rail.
yeah, punch
come
off
back.
the side rail, come back somewhere similar. That's the way I'd play it.
Who won the other match?
Sorry?
Who won
Oh,
the other match?
Dean beat Healey 7-2.
Simon just pulled that out.
So big shout out to the Carlsberg sponsor. They're putting on free Carlsberg for all the Super League players that have played in this event after the finals finished. So yeah, thanks very much. It's going to be some people really happy about that.
There's going to be some muddy heads in the morning, I believe.
Sounds like a good advantage for a few of us, John.
Well, depends on which tournament you're playing in tomorrow, doesn't it? You're playing. What are you doing? Are you playing in the lazy dog or are you playing in the early bird?
Potentially both at this stage. There's the options floating around that might be doable. So, but I signed up initially for the early riser, predominantly because I just want to get in, get out before it's too late. Because I do run late at night sometimes, and I much prefer to have my feet put up. Oh, that's all right.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Thank you very much, Bev, for that. Yeah, I did see that.